Do women prefer half-truths and comforting lies from men when they are dating or in a relationship? This is something that this dating coach, CaseyZander, claims. And throughout this video, I'm going to debunk why this always comes down to the quality of woman you date. So, one of my clients in my relationship community, shout out to you, J. Michael, he suggested that I make a few videos for the YouTube channel breaking down these modern dating coaches that give men bad advice and are misleading the youth. So for those of you who do not know who this CaseyZander guy is, he's basically a dating coach who teaches men how to hook up, sleep around with women. He prides himself on being a player and he claims to be an expert on relationships. And I'm just going to play the video. I'm going to make little pauses and break down what he has to say on this topic. With that said, let's get right into it. And for any of you who would like to learn more about what I do, you can join my relationship community. I'll leave a link down below. Okay, let's see what he has to say.
All right, so today might be another very bitter pill to swallow, but I don't really care because on this channel I do what I want and I say what I want, so I'm here to teach you the real facts. Women prefer half-truths and comforting lies from men. Women do not like the real truth and they do not respond very well to the real truth, and I'm going to show you why. Now, after today's video is over, we just crossed over 14...
Funny how he has a cross on his shirt, very hypocritical. Anyways, he stated women prefer half-truths plus comforting lies from men. Can you imagine if a woman said that about men, us men, that men prefer half-truths and men prefer comforting lies from women? Doesn't that sound ridiculous? Does any of you watching this want to be given a half-truth or a comfortable lie by a woman? Of course not. You want to be dealt truthfully. So why is Casey over here telling you that women prefer this? Is this a projection of the quality of women he dates? Because the woman I have in my life, she wants me to be honest and truthful with her. Likewise, I prefer the same. Hence why we are together. We have the same values. I think this comes down to a moral issue. Are you dating women with integrity or not? Because this is ridiculous. If you're dealing with women that have low self-esteem, they have red flags, I don't know, daddy issues, mum issues, you name it, serious internal issues, then if they're being lied to by a guy or given a half-truth, it's not really going to matter to them because they're not in the right mental or emotional state to date or look seriously to who they are with. But if you do this with a woman that has a healthy self-esteem, she's going to walk away from you. This is not normal. So no, I disagree with this completely. If you deal with a good woman with strong values and you try and lie and manipulate her, she's going to catch you out and walk away. So maybe CaseyZander doesn't really date good quality women. So why is he a dating coach if he is somehow an expert? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, for those of you who don't know, this guy's single and childless in his 30s, by the way. And there were old videos of it on his channel. He used to do live streams a few years ago. And there was a clip that went viral where he had a girl sitting with him, I don't know, some girl he was dating, talking about what an alpha male he is, and she was full on disrespecting him on the live stream, and he panicked and he tried to turn the camera off, but you know, his subscribers still who were watching the live stream, someone was recording it and they were sharing the video everywhere. So these guys, it's like they only talk about women like these red pill coaches. Oh, women are bad, you can't trust them, women can't love you, all this bad, sad, a very sad outlook on relationships because this is the quality of women they deal with because of the quality of men they are.
150 guys inside of our community. I've been helping them learn, understand, and master the language of women. So after today's video is over, I want you to join that too. But let's dive in. Here's what you have to know. Women don't react or respond very well to truth when dating at all. Okay, here's what's going to happen. Women will claim that they want loyal, honest, respectable men who tell the truth and will lead her down a positive path in life. This right here is what they will tell you. Now, in reality...
Absolutely. If you deal with good women, they want to be dealt with truthfully. They want you to be honest and genuine with them. What sort of woman who is serious about building a family wants to be with some stupid player who hasn't got his lust issues in check? Or some emotionally immature guy who's only dating to hook up and sleep around? It's like, it really makes you wonder, what quality of women is he teaching his subscribers to date? Obviously not the kind you'd want to marry and have a family with now. So what does that say about him as a coach? I surely as hell wouldn't. If I was single, I would never date a woman that wants to be given half-truths or comfortable lies from me. What would that say about her? And furthermore, what would that say about me as a man if I'm willing, intentionally, to go out of my way to lie or give a woman half-truths? Why should you trust anything I teach you if that's what I teach? Kind of makes you wonder with this CaseyZander what his values are, what sort of man he is.
When women are around men like this, they become extremely argumentative, reactive, and disagreeable. Okay? All while telling him how he is wrong and probably judgmental. So this is her natural nature, is to take the truth and twist it, okay, and create argumentative, reactive, disagreeable behavior or conversations around it to make you feel bad for saying it in the first place. This is what's going to happen in your own dating life. So here's what you have to know. When I tell you this stuff, I don't think that this is good or bad. This is just how it is, okay? I don't really think it's good or bad. I don't really care. This is just how it is. And for a lot...
So according to CaseyZander, this is how it is. This is how your dating life for you men watching is supposed to be. If you deal honestly or truthfully with a woman, according to him, she's going to be argumentative, disagreeable, and reactive. Now, what sort of woman is going to behave that way when you deal with her honestly? When honesty and truth is a virtue? Well, from my understanding, the only sort of woman that's going to behave this way is a woman who has different values to you. Your belief system is not aligned. Your lifestyle is not aligned. You do not want the same things. If I look back when I was younger, I had an ex, and we wanted different things. I wanted marriage, she didn't. I wanted kids, she didn't. And it was like we were trying to talk things through, and she kind of settled for maybe one, but I kind of realized after trying to fix or change her that we were on different paths. I was Christian, I am, and she didn't want to know Christ even when I would try and tell her. You know, she didn't seem too excited about being a wife or a mother, even though I was ecstatic to be a husband and father. And luckily I walked away from her. And yes, she was argumentative. She was reactive when I bring up these values. Why? Because we were incompatible. The woman I have in my life now, I don't have any problems with my girl. Why? Because we're compatible. The Bible talks about this. How can two walk together lest they be agreed upon? Amos chapter 3 verse 3. Right? You need to find a woman, guys, who is fully aligned with you so that you can bond, you can relate, and you can understand each other, and you can grow together, not apart. So what Casey's talking about here, without him even knowing, whether he's too prideful to know that, whether he does know and he's being prideful, or he has such a knowledge gap that he just doesn't, that he's convinced himself that this is how it's supposed to be, he thinks that this is just how it's supposed to play out in your dating or relationship life. And I completely disagree. This scenario only plays out when you date women who are incompatible with you. If you try to have an honest conversation with a woman, let's assume you're the type of guy you date to marry, you want 3 kids, you want a wife, traditional gender roles, all of that stuff. But you deal, and let's say you're talking to a girl she's a hardcore feminist, she's career oriented, she doesn't want kids, she believes in a 50-50 relationship, she believes men and women are indistinguishable and there's no different gender roles, and you bring up this stuff to her, you're going to butt serious heads. There's going to be a conflict of interest here, because your lifestyles, the very way you think and your worldview is different, which is going to make you both disconnect from each other, disagree, and be distanced from each other emotionally, leading to arguments, trying to fix or change each other, being frustrated. You know, this is what happens when you try and date someone who wants different things out of life than you. Or, on the flip side, someone who's not truly attracted to you. If you're a guy and you go for a woman, you think she's a 10 out of 10, but she's settled for you and thinks you're ugly, and she's dating you because she's got low self-esteem, she might suddenly bark at you or be reactive or get emotional or argumentative because she's looking for a subconscious way to exit the relationship, because she's not honorable enough to just dump you and admit that she's settled for you. These are the variables that can happen here when you date women that are not right for you. What Casey's talking about, whether he knows it or not, is really when a couple isn't compatible. They're just not a good fit for each other. This is not how your dating life is supposed to be, and you should rid yourself of that notion completely. This is not a standard any of you should have. He's teaching men to settle, that this is how it's going to be. He'd said he doesn't care if it's good or bad. This is just how it is. And he's submitted himself to dating these low quality women. So you'd have to ask yourself, what sort of man is he? If that's what he's going for, that's what he's accepted. I sure as hell haven't accepted that. I teach my clients how to vet women properly, appropriately look at their values and their lifestyle, make sure these women have true desire for them, make sure these women have a healthy self-esteem. That's what I teach, because I want my clients and you subscribers to have healthy relationships, to find the love of your life, whether you're a man or a woman watching. Some of my viewers are women. But these men, it's disgusting. This is advice that no one should, take in if you're serious about dating to marry. If you want to hook up and sleep around, go do that, but you're going to end up like him, single and childless in your 30s. Let's carry on.
A lot of you, here's what you're going to have to understand. For a lot of you guys to actually take these concepts that I'm teaching and really apply them, you're going to have to go through some repetitions in your dating life. You're going to have to see how real dates play out. And sometimes, when I'm talking about repetitions, you might have to go on 5, 10, 20, 30 dates. You might have to date women extensively for periods of months or years before you really see this unfold. Okay, so it does take experience. Now, while her desire drops for the honest man, she will most likely go into her phone and message the guy who is nonchalant, plays games, and is distant, and then she's going to start sleeping with him because her emotions work in this guy's favor, and he feels fun, and he seems like he doesn't take anything too seriously, so now she can just relax and be around him because this truth is too much for her to handle, okay? So, the man who is carefree and nonchalant with his intent just sits in the vibe and does not even attempt to lead her or the relationship in the first place, okay? Now, what that means is when he sees her, and that's it. He's not trying to lead anything. He's not trying to build anything. He's not trying to build a relationship. When he sees her, and that's it. Okay? And then when he's gone, he's gone. So, this is how half-truths and comforting lies look like in real life. I'm going to show you exactly how it looks in real life. Here's how it looks like, okay? Simply, his words don't match his actions. That's it. Because here's what's going to happen. It's because he is not engaged emotionally. So she feels his low investment and his carefree take it or leave it attitude or energy. All the right things are going to be coming out of his mouth. Oh, you're the woman for me, babe. Okay, but the investment and the energy he's not putting out there that basically says, yes, I'm in love. So on paper, it may even look like weak behavior. Okay? This is what you have.
So according to Casey, for you to be a real alpha male, you have to lie to a woman. Your words and actions shouldn't align. Now, for anybody with maybe one brain cell, I think we can all agree that when someone's words and actions don't align, what adjectives would we use to describe that person? A liar, untrustworthy, right? Why would you want somebody like that in your life? Whether it's a family member, a friend, in this case a lover, a love interest. I mean, come on. How do you build any sort of relationship with someone whose words and actions don't align? That is someone who's not dependable. That is someone that you cannot trust. So you'd have to question. Imagine if a woman said this. Remember, ladies, the key to get a man is you have to lie to him. Make sure your words and actions don't align. Now, if a guy has low self-esteem and he's very lustful, super horny, and he doesn't have any self-respect, and a woman's lying to him, her words and actions don't align, he might give her many chances because he's desperate. He's in a needy state. But a man who's calm and collected, he has his values screwed on properly. He knows what he wants in a woman. I mean, if I was single and a woman did that to me, she started to lie, words and actions don't align, there's a pattern starts to form, I'm walking away. I'm not going to try and fix or change and save a woman. My standard is I want a woman who's done the work on herself to prepare herself to be a wife. End of story. My standard is the highest there is, and that's it. That's how I protect myself. Strong standards and boundaries. And if you don't fit the criteria, I'm on to the next. That's why I have a quality woman in my life that I absolutely adore and respect, and I have full confidence in. And she brings me peace, and she's always been good to me. Because she has good morals. So why would you guys settle for something so miserable like this, where some dating coach like this guy has to tell you that your best chance in the dating market is to lie to women. Tell them what they want to hear, but with your actions do something else. You're going to push good women away if you try this. You might attract some bad women because you get what you are, and you do reap what you sow. If you implement his blueprint, yeah, you might get women that might look good on the outside, which is only half the picture because yes, you want someone you desire. But internally, are they someone you'd want to make the mother of your future children? A woman who's airheaded, a woman who has low self-esteem, a woman who's a bit dumb, right? A woman who doesn't have enough self-respect to walk away from a guy that's manipulating her or lying to her. I mean, come on. There's something seriously wrong with that. So if you're the type of guy who wants to lie to women, right, intentionally, like he's teaching you, don't be surprised when you only attract women who are just as dysfunctional as you. And those relationships are full of toxicity, drama, back and forth, insults. You know, this is when your life becomes a headache. If that's what you want, go ahead. But understand that you're not going to have a happy dating or relationship life in doing so. You're just going to waste time, months and years of your life that you're not going to get back on stupid, selfish, transactional relationships because you're following this guy's blueprint, which is pathetic, to be honest. You know, and like he said in the clip a few minutes back, if you deal honestly with women, they're going to get turned off and they're going to go and start texting on their phone some other guy who is lying to them. I mean, how pathetic is that? Yes, there are cheaters, there are bad women, there are immoral women that you have to avoid. But why would you even lower yourself to this standard? This is entirely avoidable if you just choose a better woman, guys. That is the bottom line. But of course, you need to work on being a better man to even care about this stuff to begin with.
You have to know, a true player, if most guys were to look at his text messages or to just notice his mannerisms, on paper, at face value, it might even look like very weak behavior. Babe, I miss you, okay? But then he never reaches out first ever, and he doesn't even call her. But he's saying the right things, okay? She knows if she doesn't call or text first, she will never hear from him, okay? Because he speaks in half-truths. He speaks in half-truths and comforting lies. And the biggest thing that you're going to notice about guys like this is they really have no care or they pay no attention to time, okay? This is the one thing, time right here, time and urgency. Most men who do not attract a lot of women are constantly looking at time. So here's what I mean by that. If 2 days goes by and he doesn't...
Pay attention to what he said there. He said, for men that want to attract a lot of women. Now let me ask you, for the guys watching, is your goal to attract a lot of women? I mean, what does that bring into your life? A lot of women. That's a lot of new names, a lot of new numbers, a lot of new dates, a lot of money. You have to keep up with different people's backgrounds and who they are and juggle them in your life. We're not designed to have a lot of women. I mean, biologically, spiritually, emotionally, you're meant to be with one woman to bond for life. When you see the most successful men in the world and the happiest men in the world, they have a good woman that they trust and love. That brings them peace. They're not juggling multiple women at once. And that's another problem with his blueprint. This is completely degenerate behavior. It brings you no joy. There's nothing fruitful that comes out of this. And as he claims, you know, as a man, you shouldn't care about time. They shouldn't have a sense of urgency. Now, there's a distinguishing factor here. Yes, as a man, you shouldn't be needy and overly desperate. Of course not. But if you are intentionally dating to choose a good woman, you need to objectively look at who she is, ask quality questions, figure out what sort of woman she is. So in a way, you are on a time frame because you're not going to waste 6 months, 1, 2, 5 years dating or being in a relationship with a woman that you don't even trust or know who she really is. That's a waste of time. I believe you need to date intentionally and have honest conversations from the get-go about who she is. Trying to be nonchalant and pretend that you're not really into her, but only you see her once in a while. What is the point of that? You're wasting her time, you're wasting your time that you could be better served doing something else. I don't know, working on a business, going to the gym, spending time with good friends or family, or finding a better quality woman. Why would you lower yourself to this mediocre dating life?
And hear from her, he starts to panic. If he sends a text message that day and 6 hours go by and he doesn't hear from her, he starts to panic. The real player has no concept of time and he doesn't care. A day turns into a week turns into a month turns into a year, and he's still not trying to build anything with her. He's just existing, okay? This is what she finds so attractive, is he has no urgency and there is no time horizon, which means the entire relationship now moves and operates at her pace. The entire relationship will always move and operate at her pace, okay? So she knows if she doesn't call or text him, that she'll probably never hear from him because he speaks in half-truths. So All truth and honest words you give to a woman, she thinks that you're weak and you're naive because of this one reason. I'm going to say that one more time. She thinks that you are weak and she thinks that you are naive because of this reason. She knows that her natural nature is to twist and manipulate the truth to make it feel better, okay? Depending on what she wants to hear. Okay, so
how absolutely pathetic is that for a grown man in his 30s to tell you that it's a woman knows it's in her nature to twist the truth as it suits her needs or how she feels. That is pathetic. What sort of low quality trashy women is he even dealing with to even come up with this time wasting fucking blackboard with everything scribbled on like he's some type of PhD professor? This is absolutely, pathetic. This is man-child behavior. Come on. There is good women and there's bad women. Imagine if a woman said, oh, it's in a man's nature to lie and cheat. It's like, there's definitely men out there that lie and cheat, but what quality of men are they? Not good men. Right? Same principle. He's talking about low quality women here. And he's trying to make you believe, well, for his viewers, that this is somehow objectively true for all women. And trying to give a woman half truth to try and build a bond with her, what sort of bond are you building? It's built on a house of cards. I believe if you meet a woman, whether you match with her on a dating app online or you meet her in real life and you approach her, you get a phone number and you vet her. Hey, I'd love to get to know you. Let's hop on a call. And on the call, have a conversation and ask quality questions. Or if you meet her in real life and you talk to her in person, ask her some of these questions. Tell me about your sexual past. What do you want in a man? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What are your thoughts on children and marriage? What are your thoughts on traditional gender roles? How long have you been single for? When was the last time you had a relationship? Have really clear-cut, honest conversations to pierce through who she is from the get-go when you have zero emotional attachment. And when you start off a conversation with that level of depth and she's willing to ask you those questions back and more, and you can figure out if you're compatible, then you ask a woman on a date. Instead of playing these stupid mind games where you have superficial conversations and you're kind of like lusting over her and you're not really sure about her. You want to be sure about a woman? Ask her these specific questions from the get-go. If she gets offended and you're being rude and you don't need to know anything about my life, you're dealing with a woman who's the quality of women he dates. Dysfunctional, messed up women that are not wife material. And then you can cut them off and walk away. Did you have to waste 6 months or 2 years? No. It took you one phone call and you walked the hell away. You didn't even have to set up a first date. You could simply move on and find someone better. But on the flip side, if you have this conversation and she answers favorably, has a clean history, wants the same things as you, is traditional, is a smart woman, that woman is going to be so much more grateful that you opened her up and you had the balls to ask about who she really is. That now you've tethered a conversation built on the foundation of honesty. And that quality of woman is going to want to text you and call you without you have to play any mind games for her to try and chase you. This is how you get a real good woman to come to you organically and build a real bond. That's exactly what I did with my girl. That's what I teach my clients to do. This, what he's telling you, works with damaged women. You're not going to get a good woman this way. You guys can't follow red pill dating advice and expect to find yourself a good woman.
But let's underline this piece. Depending on what she wants to hear. It's not about what you want to hear, and it's also not about what you would like to tell her. She is going to optimize her emotions and her sentences for what she wants to hear, which will oftentimes include twisting the truth to make it better for her to understand, so that way she feels like her emotions are correct by default. This is what you're going to notice. So let me paint you a picture, or let me make you an analogy, okay? Giving a woman the truth is like giving a toddler the keys to your Ferrari, because the kid says that you can trust me, I know how to drive, and then you're surprised when the kid crashes. Let's say this one more time. Giving a woman the truth is like giving a toddler the keys to your Ferrari, because the kid says, you can trust me, I know how to drive it, okay? I know how to drive, but then you're surprised when the kid crashes. This is how a woman feels when you start to emote or tell her the truth about how you feel, or you just start speaking the truth in general. You were naive. She senses your...
So, according to Casey, telling a woman the truth, it's like giving a toddler the keys to your Ferrari. It can't be trusted. Obviously, you should never give a child the keys to your car because they cannot be trusted. But he's completely missing the point. It's not what you say, it's how you say it and when you say it. If you've gone on a first date with a woman, you don't come out and say you love her, because you're not going to love her. You're not going to be in love with her. You don't know her. Yes, there's definitely guys that are super needy that show up on a first date with fucking flowers and everything. She's not your girlfriend. You don't have to do those things. I agree. But once you've been with a woman for a few weeks, a few months, you've both built a connection, assuming you're both normal, mentally stable people with no red flags, and you start bonding, you're naturally going to start growing closer to each other. By which point, giving a natural compliment or expressing affection to one another is something normal. That is not going to turn a woman off if she's stable and she's attracted to you and has the same values. And obviously this is providing that how she feels about you emotionally, that emotional attraction has built up naturally over time, and you can see the signs that she really feels that way by what she says and what she does. Okay? But again, his blueprint is lying and manipulating women, and obviously his subscribers and the quality of guys that he helps are guys who have a knowledge gap, guys that need real help. And as a man, the reality is if you spend time with a woman in close proximity, man or woman, you're going to grow closer. You're just going to bond. And you're naturally going to develop feelings. And he doesn't want you to tell a woman those feelings. And this is the problem with what he teaches. If you're trying to date a woman and you're following his blueprint, sooner or later you're going to build a bond. But if you haven't vetted her properly and you're dealing with a low quality woman, you're just going to get hurt by following his blueprint. Because she's going to get offended. She's going to think there's something wrong with you. Because if a woman is settled for you or just has different values to you, she's not really there for you. She might bond with you a little bit, but there's just so much problem with the quality of women he dates and he recommends you to be with that. This is all just a big mess that you shouldn't tell the truth to a woman. It's like naive. It's a waste of your time.
Lack of competency. She senses your lack of dating experience. You're naive. This is how women feel about you when you're honest and tell them the truth about how you feel. So you think that the other guy she's with is a loser. You think the other guy that she's now sleeping with is a loser. In reality, she respects him because he won't be manipulated. Even if he doesn't have a job. Even if he doesn't have a car. Even if he only has $300 to his name or to his bank account. The fact that he doesn't value time and he doesn't care. And a day can turn into a week can turn into a month can turn into a year. He never feels the need to fix a situation with her because there's never an argument. And there's never an argument because he's never in an actual relationship. You can't argue with someone who's not even willing to play along with the game in the first place. This is why women prefer half-truths and comforting lies from the player. Now, let's dive into this side of the marker board.
Now, obviously, Casey doesn't understand how to truly communicate with mentally stable women because he assumes that being direct and forward leads to an argument. Men who understand women don't argue with women. They communicate with them clearly. So, again, it comes down to your values. Very sad stuff I'm hearing from him, but you shouldn't be wasting a month, 6 months, a year with a woman, and it's like you don't even know what she wants from you or why she's still wasting her time with you. It's all a big cope for you settling or her settling. It's a massive time waste.
Now, also what you got to know is for any of you out there who think that this is easy for me to make all these presentations.
And another thing, which he did say before, there's guys out there that are broke, have no car, no money, and the woman still, she's close to him. Yeah, that is one true point he made. If, as a man, you understand that it all comes down to desire. You could be a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, but if if the girl you're dating doesn't think you're handsome, all that money means nothing because money can't buy love. And the less masculine you are, the more money you think you need to make to even get a woman. You don't need anything materialistic to get a woman. You need good values, to be a clear, calm, masculine man that she finds attractive. But his value structure is so red pill. It's feminine. This is what the definition of a feminist. A lot of these modern dating, these red pillers don't think they're feminists, but it's like there's nothing traditional. There's nothing about anything he teaches that honors men or women. It's all dysfunctional manipulation tactics. That's not right.
You got to realize one thing. It's a lot of work dropping this much wisdom. Rest assured. So here's what you need to do. You need to get used to controlling your vocal tone and not showing very much expression. Here's how it looks. Babe, you know I love you. Babe, you know I've been missing you. Oh, I miss you so much. Look at us, we're lovers. You need to get used to controlling your vocal tone and still speaking the things that she needs to hear. Now, the second that you mean any of these things and your vocal tone reflects it that you're now in love, this is where she leaves you. And this is where she leaves you very quick. So when she's with a guy like this who can say the right things but control his vocal tone because he's not willing to get emotionally engaged. So here's what happens. They might sleep together. Okay, maybe they decide to sleep together, but she probably knows that she'll never hear from him unless she calls first. And then he'll pick up that phone. But she's going to notice that he doesn't care if the relationship unfolds. So here's what you got to realize. The words keep that what if factor in her mind. What if I can get him to fall in love with me? What if I can get him to love me? What if I can get him to care about me one day? Okay? Women will chase these types of men year after year after year after year, and these men just lie and lie and lie and cheat and cheat and cheat, and women keep believing them. They will cheat, and the man will say, you know, it's just so hard for me. It's so hard. I've been working on it. One more time. Just give me time. You know I've been trying. You know it's so hard. Okay? It's almost like she gives him hope that one day he can hopefully be better. But if he was better to begin with, she wouldn't even have interest in him. You can give a woman the perfect man. You can give a woman the perfect gentleman. They don't want it. They don't want those types of men. If they did, they would be...
Again, he's talking about low quality women because that's all he seems to attract, because he's obviously not the quality of man that he portrays himself to be. He's not exactly the type of man you'd want your daughter to marry or your sister to date, right? It's like he thinks you have to manipulate your way into getting a woman to love you, which is just simply not true. Only low self-esteem women who have a lot of red flags will fall into the bracket of women who do such a thing. Any normal, mentally stable woman is just going to be repulsed by this type of behavior. You can lead with honor and integrity, be upfront about your values, and then all you have to do as a man is focus on just one date per week, letting her come to you, letting her bond with you, making her laugh, making her feel good, asking her questions, building a real bond. And then she will slowly grow to you. But you're best off doing that by being honest and genuine, not by holding back or pretending to be someone you're not. And it's just sad.
In a relationship happy, or they would probably be married, and this isn't the case. Majority of them, and very attractive women, are typically always single. Because what they're gravitating towards is what their emotions tell them to go for. Okay.
He might be projecting a bit about himself there because he's the one who's single and childless in his 30s. Yet most good men and women are typically already married off in their 20s. That's the reality. That's it. And yes, good men are usually taken already because they're smart and they use their youth to find someone they can grow old with, right? They don't waste their time in foolish or meaningless situationships that go nowhere year after year, and they learn from their mistakes and they take serious action. But again, he's talking about the quality of women he dates. That's why he's wasting his time on a blackboard here.
Okay, so here's what you have to know. Women's emotions are opposite to your logic. She will feel that the liar is more truthful than the guy telling the truth. I'm going to say this one more time because even when I write this down, it's so funny to me. She will feel that the liar is more truthful than the guy telling the truth, all because the liar makes her feel good. And women will be loyal only to their own emotions. Think about that for a second. You can be doing all the right things. You can be positive. You can be telling the truth. You can be honest. You can be telling the truth over and over. But what you're going to find out is that she will actually feel that the liar is more truthful, all because the lies make her feel good. The liar makes her feel good. Women will only be loyal to their own emotions. So here's what I can tell you. For all the men out there who hear this, you hear my presentations, you hear what I talk about, and you still deep down want love, I understand. Makes sense. Okay? But here's what you have to know. You must understand that when you move like this, you start to move in your relationships and operate in this format that I'm showing you or that I'm teaching you. When you start to move like this, you get love from almost all of them. So for all of you out there, you say, hey, well, how would I even have a relationship with a woman then? Well, here's what you have to know. By you operating this way, you're probably going to get treated way better than any other girlfriend you've ever had before. Okay? All because you're starting to appeal to her emotions. So you must understand that if you move like this, you will probably get love from almost all of them, and you put in way less effort. So what I advise you to do next is I advise you to take the next step. And that would be learn, understand, and master the language of women.
Okay, well, we're not going to get into his pathetic relationship group because that's a waste of time. But yeah, according to this guy, you have to manipulate your way, give a woman half-truths and comforting lies, and until eventually a woman who's also dysfunctional and messed up slowly bonds with you because she couldn't date anyone else except you. You can't build a relationship like this because it's all built on lies. It's all a manipulation. It's all a play. It's all an act. Good women, if you try this, the good women are going to push you away. And the bad women, they might cling to you. But guess what? There's a caveat. When you live this way, you're going to attract women that are just like you. And they're going to give you half-truths. They're going to give you half-lies. They're going to have red flags. These are the sort of women who cheat and lie. But like Casey said, you can be the type of guy who's cheating and lying to these women and they'll still love you. They'll still stay with you. If that's the sort of relationship advice you want from a guy who has a cross on his shirt and who claims to understand women when the only thing he's describing is bad women, go for it. But I think there's a different way. I think what you need to do as a man is work on yourself to be a good man and learn how to distinguish between immoral and moral women. Find yourself a woman with good values who has true desire for you, and then vet her. Have a serious look into her character to make certain that she doesn't have any red flags, that she's suitable for you, that she has good values. You know? And if you'd like to learn more about that, I have a course inside of my relationship community, an online dating course, when I have a formula you can use to actually vet women and, you know, go through their values to make certain that they're a good fit for you. So if you'd like to learn more about that, I'll leave a link down below. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'm definitely going to be making a few more videos like this where I expose and I talk over and give you a little debates from these modern dating coaches. So yeah, do women prefer half-truths and comforting lies from men when dating in a relationship? Only if they're immoral, dysfunctional, and have red flags. Good women with standards and self-esteem are never going to tolerate this behavior.